Okay, so we're going to learn how to use Blender, and this is what the program looks like. I'm going to click it open. Okay, so when the first time you open it, it's going to ask if you want left or right clicking. I'm going to say, I think I picked left. Not really sure what that does, but you're just going to pick one. General is what we're going to be using, and it's going to give you a cube. So the cube is default. You can delete this if you want. You can keep it. It doesn't matter. Your choice. So I'm going to keep it because we're making a table. And on the keyboard, there's a couple different things. There's S for scale. And see, when you have S for scale, it scales the whole thing. But if you hit the axes, so Z, now it'll scale this way. So I do want to scale it this way. And then I can scale it a little bit bigger again without hitting an axis. So Z is gonna be your up and down, Y is gonna be your green, and X is gonna be your red. So, but I'm gonna scale it one more time, hit Z one more time, just to make this a little thinner. To move it, we're gonna hit T, no, not T. Let's move. It's been a second. Move is G, which is right below T. So if I just hit G, it's gonna move it around. I don't want that. I want to move it straight up. So moving it up on the Z-axis, you can, so I'm going to put it down, you can also change it here. So if you don't, if you want it at a certain location because you want it to be set a certain way, like certain height, you can do that here. But again, my X and my Y should stay 0 and my Z should have changed. Okay, so this is our tabletop. We're going to use a different leg or a different shape. So we're going to go add mesh. So here's where you can add a new cube if you wanted to. We're going to go down to cylinder. Here's cylinder. And I'm going to go scale. And I'm going to go X on the X-axis and kind of push it in. So this is what happens when you're too close to the center point. It gets a little weird. So you kind of always want to have your mouse a little bit away when you use any of the tools. And then I'm going to hit Y and I'm going to push it in that way. Same thing again if I want my scales to be exactly the same. So let's say I want this to be 30 and then this to be also be 30 so that they're even. So then it's a complete, not a complete circle, but it's a perfect circle. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, if I want to scale it, you can scale it down over here by just, clicking or putting in a number. So I'm going to put in 2. With the mouse, you can hold the scroller, which is that little wheel that can move you in and out. If you turn, you can see how my leg and my table don't meet. So I'm not gonna try and move it here. I'm gonna move it with this, again, hitting G to move, Z to make sure that it moves up. Okay, so we are a center leg. We don't want a center leg. So what we can do is on the number keypad, not the numbers that are above our letters. It has to be on the keypad because it doesn't work on the numbers above. I just hit number 1 on the keypad that are just, the numbers that are unstacked on top of each other. If I hit 3, it turns it there. And if I hit 7, one of them, 7. So 1, 3, and 7. So 7 shows you that. And then 9 shows you the other way. So the 4 corners. So I'm going to move this leg, G, and I want to go on the x-axis and move it there. And then I'm already on 1. So then I'm going to rotate it to 3, hit G, Y, and then move it. Okay, so I have my leg in the corner I want. We can duplicate this. So if you hit, I think it's Control D, no, Shift D, Shift, and then the letter D for duplicate. Hit the direction you want to go. So I'm on green, which means I'm on Y, and then I'm going to move it to the other side. The cool thing is once you have those two, you can highlight both of them. So it's holding the left click of the mouse and then dragging it across, then releasing. I'm going to hit 1 so that I can see this side. And then again, Shift D. And we're going to hit X this time because it's on the X-axis and move them that way. It's not always going to be perfect, and that's okay as long as you have them. So we want to make sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the scroller and turn and click and drag. I think I have all the shapes. So for the legs, because I don't want the legs to be separate. If you look over in this corner, you can see you have 4 separate legs. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm actually on cylinder 1 first before highlighting, so then I don't have all those numbers. So now that they're all highlighted, Control J, which means to join. Control J joins them all together. Now they will look and act as one object. So if I hit G, Z, you can see they now act all as one object. Control Z to move it back. And if you notice, if I click on one, all of them highlight. The only thing, though, is if you want to move the tabletop and the legs together, you have to make sure that both are highlighted. But there is a workaround. So I think it's child to parent. I'm just going to test this out. Control, and then the letter P for parent. And I want it just object, I think. And then if I hit GZ, okay, no. What did I do? Okay. I think it's legs and then tabletop. So you want to remember what you make. Okay. Because I want to make the tabletop the parent. And I keep not making the tabletop the parent. I think it's child to parent. No. Parent to child. It's been a little bit since I've done this. I mean, okay, it's not working. So my legs will essentially be my parent. So watch, if I hit G, Z, they all move together. So I've somehow made the legs the parent. That's okay. We're going to go into surfacing, which is under shading. We're going to surface these objects. So we have our tabletop, and this thing right here, we're getting rid of. We're going to delete it. Getting rid of it. We don't need that. Shift A, and in that search bar, so let me do it again. So Shift and the letter A. I'm going to go to the search bar, and I'm going to type in glass. And green to green. So now it's glass. And then you can change the color of the glass. If you don't want it to be white glass, you want it to be more of a green glass, you can change the color. We're going to make the legs metal. And if we go Shift A, search again, I think there is a metal. There's not a metal texture. There is a metal surface to get it. You can also do it under here for metallic. If you click and drag right there, the legs are now metallic. You can also change the color. It doesn't look like it changes the color on that though. So, but the only thing about that is if you want to see the image, you have to go to the camera, change Eevee to cycles. That's the only way to see it look like glass. I don't like to have these samples at that high of a number. I always lower it to 10. You don't need it that high. And then if we go to render image, essentially this is what we're going to get because of the fact that the camera is so close. And this is why I do the 10 samples, because if you look right there, so I'm going to scroll out and you can see the glass. I know this was quick, but it's just a quick get you through to build my version before you start building your own version. So the next video will be of creating a lamp with the lampshade.